Hey y'all, welcome to part 2 of Warm Winter Light. Today was balance day. So yesterday was block-in and we covered the whole canvas with value color. And today we really concentrated more on getting the values darker, lighter, richer in color. And that's what we concentrated on today. So you can see the difference there. When I come in tomorrow to be doing part 3, I might see I have to go back and rebalance something here or there, but I don't think we're too far off. But tomorrow is detail, and we'll get into that tomorrow. So get outside and paint with your friends, get critiques, and enjoy getting in front of a blank canvas and give it all you got. So with that, let's get to part 2. All right, enjoy. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to part 2 of Warm Winter Light. Yesterday was block-in and today is balance. So what we want to do is get these values and colors, called color values, balanced. You get a good fresh look if you've left this overnight and come back. And what I saw was that I need this colors down here to be darker, bluer, richer. Of course, I need less yellow and more orange up in here. And my dark values in the trees and here have to get darker, and I think a little bit larger. I think I've got the right mixture here. I think it was yellow ochre, it was ultra blue and transparent oxide brown. So I think those things were in the right neighborhood on some of this, but down here I'm not even in the right neighborhood yet. So I want to get things balanced. I don't want to get into detail. That's tomorrow. Okay. So let's start with trying to get this area down here darker and bluer. So this time I'm going to use ultra, white, some gray, and off to the side here I'm going to use a little white and go in on this here, and I'll see if this is what we are looking for. Too dark, a little bit lighter. Add just a touch of alizarin. A little bit more of alizarin, and now more white. I think what I like about this whole thing is done in color, and by getting all that done and putting this down, you get to compare it to how it appears to the surrounding colors. That's why block-in, it's really important to cover the whole canvas. For me, this is a technique that I teach, and it's not too far off. I think that pretty mainstream way to start a painting. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and see what I can do. I'm going to get a little bit of Gamsol in my brush. I think I'm using a number 6 or 8. Let's see what I'm using here. It's a 6 rosemary. A filbert. And by getting this darker, it's also going to accent the brighter orange, warm colors when we get there. You see me switching the brush back and forth. And I'm doing this very quickly. Oh, I better see when I started. Okay. 45. Try to keep these to 30 minutes. The videos. Now, I know some of you want to get in there and get all the way around these little bushes just perfectly, but for now, we're just going to try to see if we've got balance. Let me get back and see if that's too dark or too light. It's too dark. So we're going to go in with some cobalt now and lighten it up. This was cobalt and white. Darn it, thought I had that. Cobalt and white. There we go. That's getting in closer. Now I have to deal with this darker stuff underneath, but I don't mind that. And I'll finish this thing up, get one more good look at it, and see if we're in the neighborhood. I'm getting back, taking a look, and by golly, we're looking awfully good. I think I could go a little bit lighter in the foreground. So I'm adding more white to the cobalt, and I'm going to add lighter in here. I'm doing that because I saw that on the reference. Getting back. All right, let's work on those darks in the trees next. I might need these colors, okay? So I'm going to pick them up, put them over here. Looks like a lot, but it's not. It's just all spread out very thinly. Okay, here we go. And let me clean this brush. All right, I don't have to clean it too much because I'm going to use blue in the next mixture for the blue and brown. So let's go ultra, and let's go transparent oxide brown, transparent oxide brown. And instead of adding white, let's just add some terp to it, or some Gamsol, and see what that does. I want to add some transparent oxide brown to this. Oop, that's too much. Darn it. Back to blue. Back to blue. Back to more blue. I think that might be a little too dark, but I can always thin it with some Gamsol, and there we go. Thinning it with Gamsol is what I did. I think I need more blue in there. I'm going to add a little bit of blue from my mixture for the foreground. And I see that up in here a little bit. And I am getting some of that lighter color up in here. And I'm going to get some of that, knock some of this darker color I have in some places, not at the base of the tree so much, but and I think we need some of this darker color in some other places too. All right. Woo, things are changing quick, aren't they? My goodness, that is looking good. I still have some dark way over here on the right, or on the left. And I'm going to get some good dark down in here. And I think there's other darks that come over into here. And I will be working on that right now. There's some need to get that really dark. This area right in here. I need some good honkin' dark. That'll work. That's good. All right, so now let's go to the top of, I'm going to add a little olive to this mixture and get some of that up in this area. Because it's a nice little accent. And it's there. All right. Whew, this is coming along well. Now, the big challenge is getting these warm colors in. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay. I might have to change brush because this has too much cool in it. And we're going to have to move over to warms. So I'm going to go to a smaller brush and looks like this is just an old Pro Stroke number 4 filbert. It may have been a flat at one time, but it's all worn down. And I'm making sure that I have a good mixing area that will give me plenty of space to make a nice mixture. As I paint, I have to be careful not to kick my tripod so that you guys don't get jolted. So I'm always paying attention to this tripod coming down close to me and behind me. All right, so let's make a mixture of, as I said, we have too much yellow. I think it's a good base, but let's do orange. Whew, that was strong. And let's get some other orange. Over here, kind of just a little bit paler. And let's make some pinks. You can make this with alizarin and white. And it's a nice accent also. But you can see this is going to be my primary guy. I'm going to add some yellow ochre to one side of it for the horizontals coming down here. I think I need more yellow ochre. Let me get some white in there. White. This is primarily yellow ochre with some orange in it over here. So let's try this yellow ochre orange mixture and get that in. That's pretty good. I think that's going to be from first glance, that looks really nice. And I'm going to lighten it up a little bit right in here and do more of a horizontal stroke. I'm going to add some of these within the tree. Sometimes I'm just using a light brush stroke, dragging it across and dulling some of these darks. And now let's get down into the tree with, I had another orange, kind of a duller orange mixture here. And I need more darks underneath there. I'm going to do blue, brown, brown, blue. And I need to get some of these up into here. These little, well, when you look at a tree, there's these dark areas in it. And I think that's going to do for now. I'm getting back. And this needs to be brighter, and these need to be softer. So I'll start working on that now. So I'm going to get these softer and have some of them run up on the mountain like I see from the reference. Good. All right, let me look at my time. Oh, we're doing good. Right, we're going to change brushes, still work up here, and we're going to work on these verticals that have more direct angle to the sun, so they need to be brighter and oranger and stuff like that. But I think what I could do is bring down some of these darks from the junipers, and that might help us with giving the sense that there's a cliff here. That's a little too strong here. That'll work. I'm going to move this brush, that number 4, away to the side and get ready for my next mixture. So with that, let's go to orange and let's add a little Hansa yellow medium and white. And let's see what that does. And let's try it out. I think I need more orange. A little bit of red in it. A little red, a little orange. Whew, too strong now. Lighten it up. I think this might be in the neighborhood. That's good. Okay, I said I'd get another brush, and let's do that now. You'd think with these brushes here I'd have a whole bunch to choose from. This is a number 4 rosemary flat. I need to go back with a knife and get that nice pure knife stroke in there. And that really makes a great statement. All right, let me get back and look at it. Ooh, that's coming along pretty good. Now what I need is really some very, very light touches of white in that orange mixture. So you can see I've got my connoisseur, it's a little bit more delicate, pointed knife, palette knife, and you can see that along certain areas it's too much. Easy, easy. There's some whites. That are really helpful to tell the story between the cliff and the angle coming down. I'm putting in more than I need, and these are more horizontal. And I'll get some of that in the right places. And I see a little bit up on top too. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh, that's kind of nice. It looks like a kind of a pile of paint when I get up here, but when I get back a few steps, it's just perfect. All right, there are some really great little colors in here. So what I want to work on is this angled area here with some pink, which is alizarin white. Kind of looks like Pepto-Bismol color. And work down some of these. Covering up some of the base color we have, but not too much. And I'll go in here and put some in here too. There's also some darks in there, but I think I'd be getting too much into detail, which I want to leave till tomorrow. So I want to just come in with a little bit more white and orange. With the brush. Just a little. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And I'm going to add some pink to the junipers on top. They're just a little too dark. And now let's get into the tree with the remaining time and get this guy down here a little bit. I'm going to add some pink and some orange together and some white and brighten up the top of these trees. It's kind of saying, hey, we're in light too. We're getting some light. And I see that in the top of the trees. And I'm seeing a little bit of that down in here, not much. I see more red. I'm going to add some alizarin to this mixture. And get some of this stronger red. This alizarin, it's a little darker, see? And I'm going to get that in the area back in here. It's kind of darker back there than in the front. I don't know if that really shows up, but I'm going to add some more to it. All right, I'm going to go back to some blue. I've got some of this blue from the foreground. And I'm going to be doing some of that up in here. If you look at the reference, it's a lot of broken strokes of this cool color back in there. There's a truck in there too. But I'm going to leave that. If you want to put the truck in, go ahead. Sometimes those are distracting if you're trying to have a purely landscape painting. I like to put houses and vehicles in it. It's really about houses, you know, old houses, barns, stuff like that. But if it's just one truck, it doesn't really make sense. Let's use some of this pink and orange in the foreground. We'll add a little blue to it. Dulls it down just a little. I'm losing some of my darks, darn it. But I do need some orange and pink, I think, in the foreground. I can get those darks back later. And reinforcing some of my blue. Yes, I definitely lost my darks, so I'll go back to blue and blue and transparent oxide brown. And you can get those in with the side of your brush, and I'll do more of that off camera for homework. I want to get back up. I've got a few more minutes up in the canopy. And I want to go with blue and brown. And soften these. Need a little bit more white in there. They're softer in color. They're lighter, in other words, than what I have. Just a touch more white to it, and add some of that. And I'll do some of that over in this area to take some of the dark out. So when I talk about today about balance, you can see I'm comparing one value color to what's surrounding it and seeing how that plays. So I'm always doing back and forth till it gets right, like I have to get these darks darker. All right, with that, I need to come to an end. Our time is up. Thank you so much for coming by for part 2. And so tomorrow we'll get some detail in this thing, particularly in the tree, and have some branches. And I think the sky might need a little work. And little things to do. Okay, thanks very much. Bye-bye.